Hey everyone, it's Miss Joyce. Today we'll be multiplying whole numbers using the standard algorithm. Let's start by multiplying 16 times 25. The first step is to line these factors up vertically, which means one on top of the other. We're first going to be multiplying 16 times 5 since the 5 is in the ones place. Let's start by multiplying 5 times 6, so we're multiplying the ones places first. 5 times 6 is 30, so we'll place a 0 in the ones place, regroup the 3 to the tens place. Now we're going to multiply the 5 by the tens place. So we're going to multiply 5 times 1, which is 5, plus the 3 we regrouped, which is 8. So 16 times 5 is 80. We multiplied this top number times the 5. The next step is to multiply 16 times 20, since the 2 is in the tens place. We're first going to put a 0 in the ones place, since we're multiplying our top number times something in the tens place. This will allow our answer to start in the tens place. First, we're going to multiply 2 times 6, since the 6 is in the ones place. 2 times 6 is 12, so we'll place a 2 down at the bottom and regroup the 1 on top of the next place value that we're multiplying. Next, we're going to multiply 2 times 1, which is 2, plus the 1 we regrouped, which is 3. So we know that 16 times 20 is 320. Now we can add these two products together to get our final product. Let's start by adding the ones place. 0 plus 0 is 0. In the tens place, 8 plus 2 is 10. So place a 0 in the tens place and regroup the 1 to the hundreds place. Now we can add the hundreds place. 1 plus 3 is 4. So our answer is 400. Let's try another problem. Here we have 205 times 34. Notice we lined our factors up vertically, which means one on top of the other. We're first going to multiply 205 times 4, since the 4 is in the ones place. Let's start by multiplying 4 times 5, which is 20. So we'll place a 0 in the ones place and regroup the 2 to the tens place. Now we're going to multiply 4 times 0, since the 0 is in the tens place. 4 times 0 is 0, plus the 2 we regrouped is 2. Now we're going to multiply 4 by 2, since the 2 is in the hundreds place. 4 times 2 is 8. So 205 times 4 is 820. Now let's multiply 205 times 30. We can see the 3 is in the tens place, so we need to place a 0 down here in the ones place, so our answer will start in the tens place. First, we're going to multiply 3 times 5, which is 15. So the 5 is going to go at the bottom, and the 1 is regrouped above the next digit we're going to be multiplying. So next, we're going to multiply 3 times 0, which is 0, plus the 1 we regrouped, which is 1. Now we can multiply 3 times 2, since the 2 is in the hundreds place. 3 times 2 is 6. So 205 times 30 is 6,150. Now we can add these two products together. Let's start by adding the ones place. 0 plus 0 is 0. In the tens place, 2 plus 5 is 7. In the hundreds place, 8 plus 1 is 9. And in the thousands place, nothing plus 6 is 6. So our final product, or answer, is 6,970. Let's try another problem. Here we have 162 times 314. We're going to line these numbers up vertically, which means one on top of the other. We're first going to be multiplying 162 times 4, since the 4 is in the ones place. Let's start by multiplying 4 times 2, which is 8. Next, we'll multiply 4 times 6 to get 24. So the 4 goes down here in the tens place, and the 2 is regrouped to the hundreds place. Now we can multiply 4 times 1, since the 1 is in the hundreds place. 4 times 1 is 4, plus the 2 we regrouped is 6. So 162 times 4 is 648. Now let's multiply 162 times 10, since the 1 is in the tens place. Before we even start multiplying, we're going to place a 0 in the ones place, so our answer will start in the tens place. First, we're going to multiply 1 times 2, since the 2 is in the ones place. 1 times 2 is 2. Next, we'll multiply by the tens place. 1 times 6 is 6. And now we'll multiply by the hundreds place. 1 times 1 is 1. We know that 162 times 10 is 1,620. Now we're going to be multiplying 162 times 3, which is in the hundreds place, so it's really like 162 times 300. Since we're multiplying by a number that's in the hundreds place, we need to place a 0 in the ones and in the tens place, so our answer will start in the hundreds place. First, we're going to multiply 300 times the 2, since the 2 is in the ones place. 3 times 2 is 6. Now we can multiply by the tens place. 3 times 6 is 18. So the 8 goes in the bottom here, and the 1 is regrouped to the top of the next digit that we're going to be multiplying. So we're going to multiply 3 times 1, which is 3, plus the 1 we regrouped, which is 4. So 162 times 300 is 486. Now we can add all these products together to get our final product. Starting with the ones place, 8 plus 0 is 8. In the tens place, 4 plus 2 plus 0 is 6. In the hundreds place, 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 6 is 18. So we'll place an 8 in the hundreds and regroup the 1 to the thousands place. In the thousands, we have 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 8 is 10. So place a 0 in the thousands and regroup the 1 to the 10,000s. Finally, 1 plus 4 is 4. 1 plus 4 is 5. So we have our final answer or product is 50,868. Let's try one more. Here we have 325 times 142. First, we're going to line these numbers up vertically, which means one on top of the other. We're first going to be multiplying 325 times 2, since the 2 is in the ones place. 2 times 5 is 10. So we'll place a 0 in the ones, regroup a 1 to the top of the tens place. Next, we'll multiply 2 times 2 to get 4, plus 1 to get 5. Now we'll multiply by the hundreds place. 2 times 3 is 6. So 325 times 2 is 650. Next, we're going to be multiplying 325 times 40, since the 4 is in the tens place. Since that 4 is in the tens place, we're going to place a 0 in the ones place. This will allow our answer to start in the tens place. 4 times 5 is 20, so we're going to place a 0 in the tens place and regroup the 2 on top of the next digit that we're going to be multiplying. Now we can multiply 4 times 2, which is 8, plus the 2 we regrouped, which is 10. So place a 0 down here in the hundreds and regroup the 1 to the top of the next digit that we're going to be multiplying. Next, we'll multiply 4 times 3, which is 12, plus the 1 we regrouped, which is 13. So we can place a 3 in the thousands and a 1 in the 10,000s, since there's no thousands placed in our factor. So 325 times 40 is 13,000. Now let's multiply 325 times 100, since the 1 is in the hundreds place. Since the 1's in the hundreds place, we need to place a 0 in the ones place and a 0 in the tens place. This will allow our answer to start in the hundreds place. We're first going to be multiplying 100 times 5, since the 5 is in the ones place. 1 times 5 is 5. Now let's multiply by the tens place. 1 times 2 is 2. And now we'll multiply by the hundreds place. 1 times 3 is 3. So 325 times 100 is 32,500. We can now add these products together. Let's start by adding the ones place. All these zeros added up is 0. 5 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. In the hundreds place, 6 plus 5 is 11. So place a 1 in the hundreds, regroup the 1 to the thousands. Now we can do 1 plus 3, which is 4, plus 2 is 6. And finally, in the 10,000s place, 1 plus 3 is 4. So our final product or answer is 46,150.